Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to Planting an Herb Garden. Today we are going to transform this small little side bed that has always been a catch-all for like my tomato cages and my steaks and all things like that. I wanted a dedicated herb garden, and so in thinking that through, I grew some herbs from seed. So I've got things like basil, sage, oregano, onions, thyme, that sort of thing. And then I've also got some nasturtiums, some marigolds, and some chamomile. So I realize that's a lot of plants to fit in not a very large space, but in keeping with the cottage theme that I have going on in the rest of my garden, it will fit just fine. That is very on top of each other, mounds of one plant bleeding into another plant, bleeding into another plant, where you really don't see much space in between the plants, if at all, only when you plant it. And so my goal here is to continue with that vibe and to allow this space to become herbs. I am going to plant some marigolds sort of as maybe a backdrop to it, just because this bed, you can see a lot. Let me show you. So that is my driveway. So when you're driving by, when you're pulling up to my house, you can see this bed. It looks down here. And so I don't want it to be all green. I do want to have a little bit of color, but I also am going to have tons of color because I planted Mexican sunflowers, Tithonia, my most favorite, all along the fence this year over here on this side. So it's going to be pretty, and I don't feel like this bed is that necessary to have crazy big color, which is why I'm doing that. So I thought I would bring you along with me and show you how I plan on putting in this garden. Just wanted to spend the morning with you. It is supposed to rain tomorrow and pretty much the rest of the week, so I'm going to be hustling to get a lot of plants in the ground, which is why I'm in a t-shirt and shorts, just trying to get it done, get it planted, and I'd love to invite you to come along with me. So first up, we're going to get all the stuff out of the bed. We are going to make sure we don't have any weeds in the bed, which we do right now. We have some weeds right here, as you can see behind the rows. And we're just going to clean it up and get it ready to plant. All right, I'm gonna hop on that. I'm gonna get all my tools together and then we'll get to planting. Think through laying out this bed. I'm thinking through the heights of the different plants, and I want to keep them in clusters. So I am okay with the taller stuff right here. This is the front yard, or the front of my garden. This is the focal point coming this way, really not so much this way. So I am okay with taller things here, and then obviously along the back of the greenhouse. In the front, I want the lower growing plants. So one of my tallest plants that I have growing that I'm going to plant is bouquet dill. That gets about 3 feet tall. Last year, it got almost 5 feet tall. So I'm definitely going to put it in this space over here. And then I'm just going to do clusters. I've got nasturtiums. I'm okay with it running out on the grassy area over here. So my thoughts are, I'm just going to go ahead and plant my bouquet dill, and then I will just start putting them in clusters, and I will tell you all about what I'm planting. Here is my bouquet dill. It's a bit of a hot mess, and it smells so good. So one of you told me that this was for pickling cucumbers and making pickles, obviously. And we're going to try, if we get enough pickles this year, or enough cucumbers this year, we'll try and make some pickles. I made some year before last. I didn't make any last year. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started planting my dill. Okay, next up is going to be chamomile. I am actually going to put it over here in the corner right near the dill, and because it does get equally big, it's about 2 to 3 feet, and I just want to give it its own space to get big. So chamomile is used for teas, and it's a calming tea, so really excited to grow it this year. And again, I did grow this from seed. Pretty root bound. So when you see something like that, you can go in and just kind of break up the roots and plant it. Now we are going to start creating little pockets. So I've got maybe 2 plants of each herb. I also have Mizuno and bok choy. Bok choy has been eaten. I guess the snails really like the bok choy as well, so I'm going to have to really put some snail bait down in this bed as well, because snails and slugs. And then once I get these little pockets in, I am going to go in and put in the nasturtiums and the dwarf marigolds. So these are the dwarf. They are the French double dwarf marigolds, and I've got several, so it'll be great. And marigolds are a good pest plant. A lot of pests don't like them. I guess they don't like the smell. And then I also have these petite yellow marigolds. They get 6 to 8 inches, so about the height they are right now. So I'm just gonna kind of tuck them in little pockets and make this a pretty little cottage garden. Okay, let's get planting. So first up, what do we want to go with? Vulgar oregano. They're so cute, these little plugs. Again, I grew these from seed. I started these in March, and this is May, and we have cute little plugs for next to nothing. My seed packs were 20 cents each. Got them at the Dollar Tree. You can get seeds anywhere. Next up, we have cardinal basil, and then we have a little celosia that got mixed in here. I'm going to leave it because that'll be pretty. All right, so I'm going to plant the 2 cardinal basil in the, oh, and we have an onion in here too. Love that. Okay, so I'm going to plant the 2 cardinal basil in the back. Sweet basil. I'm going to break this up like this so I can have basil all together. Next up, we have summertime. I love the name of that, like summertime, but it's thyme. And they smell so good. I don't know why I just put that up to the camera as if you could smell it. Just pretend you can smell it. But I love how the underside of it has purple. Isn't that pretty? So the thought is, an herb bed, you generally don't have to change out year after year. The herbs tend to overwinter and stick around. So we're going to hope that happens. Let me tell you a little bit about what these are. So I think I'm going to just do a little patch right here. Next up, I have just regular thyme. I'm gonna put sage here. I laid everything out. It's such a tight area, so trying to navigate the camera was a little difficult. I'm sure you understand. So I have these variegated nasturtiums. Aren't they cool looking? Can you see the leaves and how there's variegation? I want it, so they're from Botanical Interest, and I want to say they're the Alaska variegated. And then I have Mizuna, which is the Benny Hushi. This I have 5 of, and I just want you to see what snails can do. Like, that is so bad. I mean, they had a buffet on most of these. This is bok choy, and as you can see, I have 4 that are very much eaten and struggling, but hopefully we can get those in the ground and looking good. And then I have just your average everyday sage that smells delightful. And then I have some lavender back here. I have the true lavender. And then I have another mixture of nasturtium. And then what I'm going to do is go back and add in some marigolds. And I probably, unlike the other beds, I'm probably going to put some mulch down in this bed. I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on the tripod and get these planted. And then I'll go ahead and throw in some, marigolds. Yeah. All right, I am done planting my herb bed with a few sods of flowers, and I'm going to go through and show you the bed, and then we're going to water it and call it a day. I have the most beautiful rose. Isn't it pretty? I don't even know which one it is, but so pretty. So again, I have some marigolds that I dotted throughout here, here, there, and there. And then I have my nasturtium. I have 2 different kinds. I have the variegated and the non-variegated, and I don't know the names. I'll put them on the screen. I have lavender elegans in the back, sage, bok choy, summertime. I have Texas onion. They look like little spring onions. Bok choy still here. Mizuna, which I guess are Japanese greens. I'm not 100% sure. So cardinal basil, sweet basil. And then I do have another marigold here, chamomile. This is oregano vulgar, I want to say. Vulgar. Dill, mammoth dill, or bouquet dill. And then more nasturtium. That is everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get this watered in, and eventually I will put some mulch over top of it just to hold the moisture in. Hope you have a chance. Go out, consider planting an herb garden. Get your hands dirty, get something planted, and I will see you in another video soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be up to date on all of the videos. We've got a ton coming at you, and I'm really, really excited. All right, have a great day.